Hey class, we're going to be talking about the future of cryptocurrency. Let's go ahead and let's break down Web3, AI, and the interoperability of the whole blockchain and decentralized technology space. Let's jump into it. So let's talk about Web3. It's the ownership revolution. So Web3 is the next evolution of the internet, and it's characterized by decentralization and user ownership of data and assets. And it's the big shift from renting to owning. So right now, we currently use the Web2 system, and it's run on centralized platforms like Google and Meta, and they own your content and data, which is susceptible to hackers and certain things like that as well. But Web3, what the future is going to go ahead and concur, the users own their identities, data, and digital assets via NFTs, tokens, and the blockchain decentralized system, which means that transactions have to operate via autonomous codes called smart contracts instead of a centralized system like banks where transactions have to be confirmed by a centralized intermediary. And the transition empowers individuals and reduces reliance on large tech intermediaries. So decentralized finance, also known as DeFi, its financial service uses smart contracts systems without banks. Okay? And DAOs stands for decentralized autonomous organizations, and their governance run by code and token holders. So Web3 is a really, really big shift. It's putting power back into people's hands. So instead of having your money being declined, let's say, for instance, you wanted to send money to someone in a different country. Let's say they built your website, for example, and, as online business increases, people from other countries are also going to be participating as well, too. And quick way in order to send transactions, invoices, whatever is cryptocurrency, okay, without any intermediaries, no fees, no wire transfer fees, and no ability to get declined. You try to send like $1 million USD to someone in Thailand, bot, right? It's going to be a lot different, okay? You're going to run into fee issues. They might think that it's fraud, and it's a large chance that the transaction just won't go through, okay? But whenever you're sending it via cryptocurrency on the smart chain system, it's not worried about that. Everything is automatically being run through. Think of it kind of like a vending machine. When you go up to the vending machine, you put in that dollar, you get what you want. Okay, that's how cryptocurrency works. But when you go to the drive-through, the person has to hand you the food. Okay, the person can drop the food. The person can do a lot of stuff to the food. Okay, they could crumble up the food and throw it away. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. Okay, but if you go up to the vending machine, you put in your dollar, you're gonna get that. Okay, so it's up to the person whether or not they really want to give you your food, even if you paid. So that's the traditional centralized system. But decentralized is going to be the vending machine system. If you put in that dollar, it's going to automatically give you whatever you selected. Okay, it's a lot more efficient, it's quicker, and no deception or human emotions can even cultivate in the existence of your transactions. Okay, and you're dealing with money. You're not trying to be worried about getting your transaction declined. Okay, you're a human being. You got stuff to do. You got bills to pay. I'm sure you have people to take care of. You're trying to get from A to B. Okay, so cryptocurrency is going to be a good place to run transactions and large invoices relatively quickly. So doing big deals via cryptocurrency is going to be a really, really good way to quickly do transactions without having to wait for banks to confirm it, freeze your account, etc. So interoperability. All right, let's go and let's talk about breaking down the walls. So blockchains currently exist as walled gardens, and the future requires them to talk seamlessly. So the problem fragmentation, a part of it. So assets and data are locked onto the native chain, so such as Ethereum and Solana. And high friction is involved when moving tokens between the chains, and developers are limited to one single ecosystem. Okay, but as time progresses, as more development and coders implement different types of technology in order to make things more efficient, I can see things changing within the future. And users have fragmented digital identities across different chains as well too, making it extremely secure. So the solution, crisscross communication, and protocols are building bridges and standardized layers, also known as layer zeros. And bridges allow asset transfers, okay? So whenever you're trying to swap a meme coin, for example, let's say you hopped on Phantom Wallet, Coinbase, whatever, okay? If you're gonna go ahead and get Pepe the Coin Frog, right? In order to purchase Pepe the Coin Frog coin, you need Solana first, okay? So Solana is gonna be the first asset you're gonna need in order to buy a meme coin, for example. And that's gonna be a bridge. And layer 0 is going to be the infrastructure, like Cosmos or Polkadot, for example. And it's designed to connect independent chains. And the goal of it is to provide a single fluid digital economy where value can move instantly and people can get what they want. So let's say, for instance, if you wanted to exchange USD for, once again, Thailand's currency, right? Thailand's currency is going to be baht, for example. Okay, let's say Swiss, okay? Or if you wanted to exchange Thailand baht for the Swiss franc, okay? Say if you're swapping certain things like baht from USD currency, then the bridge is going to go ahead and what's to be allowable with the asset transfer class. And layer 0, that's going to be the infrastructure like Cosmos, Polkadot. And that's designed to connect the independent change and link everything all together. And the goal is for really to provide a decentralized space where it's single, fluid, and it's a digital economy where value can move instantly and people can exchange for what they want. So if you're going to the currency exchange, it could take some time. There could be fees and quite some other things involved when exchanging one currency to the other. You're also going to need another bank account system, okay, in some cases too, if you're not getting all cash, and just a way to go ahead and spend that other currency as well too. Whether you're just getting a cryptocurrency card, you're going to be able to spend that all across the world as long as they take Visa, for example. Okay, so if you were to get like a Coinbase card that provides Visa or certain other brokers provide it too, then you could use that all over the world and use that to spend money. Okay. And AI in crypto. Okay, AI can monitor blockchain data for anomalies and instantly detect fraud or exploits of smart contracts. So certain things too, like bank hacks, can be susceptible due to certain errors, okay, and things like that. Certain transactions that could be completely legitimate could be declined, okay, due to human error as well too. But when everything is being dealt with via the smart contract system and AI, everything's going to be a lot more automatic and things are going to be seamless, okay, transitional, and stuff is not going to be as barrier locked. And AI models manage vast liquidity pools, optimizing lending rates, and they execute complex low latency strategies, implementing quick transaction swapping too. Okay, so even if you do $1 billion transaction from one person to another, it's all going to be automatically calculated, and it should be in one person's wallet within a couple of minutes or hours. And autonomous DAOs, and AI can automate repetitive governance tasks, and it deals with the treasury management, proposal filtering, and it just makes DAOs more efficient. And AI becomes the intelligence layer running on the decentralized foundation of Web3 in general. And the converged ecosystem, so powering the future, and universal access. Let's talk about interoperability. Developers build once, deploy anywhere, and utilize liquidity and user base across every single chain. Okay, so whoever's developing a token or enhancing the Web3 space in general, everything is going to be seamless. Okay, and when it's on the decentralized space, it's power back to the people. Okay, once again, that's what we talked about. And DApps, they evolve their own functionality and security protocols based on real-time data analysis. And users can also retain sovereign control over assets which interact with intelligent cross-chain applications. And this trio of systems creates an internet that's smart, seamless, and owned by its users. Okay, so instead of transactions being declined, instead of superpower or someone being able to control a whole pot of the pie, everything is being dealt with power of the people. AI is really going to keep everything stable and safe, so no human superpower can take over one area of the finance space. Okay, so Web3 is going to bring fairness back to the global economy. And Web3 is the foundation, so the blockchain provides trustless ledger for ownership and transactions and a safe place to keep your money stored as well too. And interoperability is scalability, and the ability for chains to connect determines the speed of adoption and utility in general. And the next generation of innovation lies at the intersection of decentralization and machine intelligence. So if you want to learn more about cryptocurrency or the whole decentralized finance, DeFi, or blockchain space, head over to stackmode.net. Step right up to God, keep browning, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.